toss it over to Jessica. Jessica, good morning to you. Who do you have over there?
Well, good morning, guys. And when it comes to the law, people are put off about it. Some just shy away from it or don't understand how the law works. Now, there is one man whose goal is to change the way you see the law and make you one of the people in the know. His name is Bobbie Seller of Seller Law, your personal injury attorney. Good morning, Bobbie. How are you?
Good morning, Jessica. How are you?
Welcome to Daily Buzz. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's talk about your history when it comes to hospitals and the law when it comes to that, because there's a perception that a lot of attorneys, they don't care if they're just trying to get the money.
Absolutely.
And tell us about your background and how you're different.
Right. So my background is I've historically worked with hospitals and nonprofit organizations and medical providers across the country.
Right.
And we always basically went after insurance companies, and when they didn't pay the hospitals right, they would hire us and we would pursue these claims. I never really wanted to get into personal injury law. Yes, it's very lucrative. There's a lot of money.
Of course, yeah.
There's a bad stigma that comes with it. You know, you ask people what they think about personal injury attorneys, they'll tell you they're ambulance chasers and many other terms that they use out there. So personally, I didn't want to get involved with that, even though I had some family history dealing with that. Because
when was that changing point where you're like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to help people.
Right. So for me, you know, I've noticed that people were actually really hurt and they really needed help and they had nowhere to turn to.
Right.
You know, other people would be responsible for their injuries and they would be running from their medical bills and end up with bad credit and many other things.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Why do people do that? It's just the fear of...
You know, they just don't know their rights, you know, and I don't feel that, you know, people should have to pay to know what their rights are.
Right.
So that's really for me what took it home.
So, and you'll be here, hopefully, like more on the show. Why is it so important for you people?
So I think it's important for most people to know their legal rights. And, you know, we're going to have a segment where we're going to have basically the viewers be able to email their questions to questions@sellerlaw.com. And I want to address all questions, not just injury questions.
Not just injury, with divorce, just everything.
It could be divorce, it could be foreclosures, bankruptcy. You know, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. We as a people all have to deal with certain situations within our lives.
Well, tell us about foreclosure, because that's a big thing now.
Yes, you know, it is, because about 5 years ago, the mortgage companies were loaning everybody money and they really weren't qualified. So everyone that I know at least knows somebody who's dealing with a foreclosure issue. So
and a lot of people sometimes think it's too late. They can't do anything about it.
It can be. It depends on the circumstances. And what I want to be able to do is create a platform to answer the viewers' questions on a weekly basis.
And tell us about your background with foreclosures and all that stuff.
Sure. So I came from a real estate background. And, you know, I used to sell real estate before I started practicing law. And
so you know.
I know. I know about foreclosures. I have family that have been in bankruptcies. I know a little bit about every type of law there. So I feel that, you know, if we can answer those general questions to the viewers, we would provide a great benefit to them as a whole.
And divorce is another biggie.
Yeah. Divorce, I mean forget
it's happening. Come on.
60% of all marriages. I mean, people don't even want to get married anymore because they hear about these rumors about divorce. So a lot of times, women especially, you know, they have these questions, but they don't want to hire an attorney or you know.
Well, it's just intimidating. You know, you don't know.
It is. And my answer is don't run to divorce. Once it's done, it's done. You know, speak to a counselor, do things.
And also a big thing, which we talk about all the time in the news and everything, is immigration.
Absolutely.
And that's something you also help with.
Sure, absolutely. So we'll deal with immigration. If there's questions about immigration, we're all immigrants on some level, right?
Yeah,
unless you're Native American. So, you know, we'll help with those issues. And
any particular cases that you want to talk about when it comes to immigration that someone maybe walked in thinking they didn't have any rights, or like, because a lot of times when it comes to the point to go into an attorney, you kind of feel, do I even have a chance to win this case or whatever it is? Any particular case where you're like,
you know,
it touched you?
The way I would answer that is that there are certain quotas where, you know, the government allows certain people to come into this country. Some people insource employees from other countries, and they only allow a certain amount. So there are things that you need to know that I would like to discuss. If it's a weekly segment about immigration, we'll discuss the immigration rules and the quotas, and that's something that we'll focus on.
Well, thank you for being with us today.
Absolutely.
And if anyone has any legal questions, whether it's personal injury, foreclosures, bankruptcy, immigration, or divorce, email them the questions at sellerlaw.com. Those questions at sellerlaw.com we'll be answering here every week.
Yes,
so we're excited
and it's
about
questions at sellerlaw.com. So email us your questions at sellerlaw.com, and we'll address a new issue every week.
Yeah, more info on the dbz.com. More coming up. Thank you.
This segment was brought to you by Seller Law PA, your personal injury attorneys.